Welcome to Safety Shorts. This topic will cover a basic safety process. Let's get started. A reminder that we're very interested in hazards, which are the potential to cause accidents or incidents, plus exposure to those hazards. That gives us our incidents. Again, either a near miss or an actual accident. A System Safety Program, or SSP, is a set of safety and health program components that interact in an organized way. In other words, our systems must be organized in order for us to have the biggest impact on safety in our organizations. It's also an organized framework for identifying, managing, and reducing safety and health hazards. Again, we're going to focus on hazards, finding them, identifying them, and reducing them as the core of our safety programs. An effective system safety program must be uniquely designed for each organization. Uniquely designed for each organization. It is not a one-size-fits-all approach. Across your company, if you have multiple locations, you may find that a system that works well in one location for some reason doesn't seem to work in a second location. So again, you can use your other situation where a system is working as the starting point for trying to craft something for your particular location and organization. So I say simple, it's not simple of course, because it's simple in visualization, but in doing it's, of course, it's very complex for these. Our keys again are going to be hazards, which translate into risks, which are managed by controls, and we try to reduce or eliminate those risks and hazards if we can. So here's one approach to doing this. Okay, we identify the hazards first. We'll have some techniques we'll talk about in later topics to do that. We then assess the risks that are presented by those hazards. Again, remember that's the severity of the hazard and the frequency with which we encounter that hazard. We then prioritize the risks. If your company is like most companies, you can't afford to fix every single hazard or risk that you find. You have to prioritize those. There is a technique, a risk matrix, that we will show you in later topics as well that helps us to do that. We then, based on the risks and hazards, we develop elimination or mitigation strategies. Mitigation, of course, is a reduction strategy. We can't eliminate it, so how do we reduce it to a level that's acceptable to us? We then select the control strategies from those we've developed. Again, we usually develop a strategy or a solution, or maybe a package of solutions that work together for these. We then assign responsibilities to take over those for the implementation stage, for the monitoring stage, and so on with those. We then implement those control strategies. Again, the implementation is sometimes a task in and of itself to make it sure that it matches your environment at your workplace and so on. We then reevaluate those control strategies over time. Did something change? Did we implement a new SOP, a new technique for doing it? Did we buy new equipment to work that? If that's the case, we have to reevaluate what we have done. We start over again. We then collect additional hazard data and so on. New hazards pop up, as I said, if we implement new techniques, if we purchase new equipment. If our equipment is getting older, then we have to assess those risks and so on with those. I hope you found this very brief introduction informative. Please take the opportunity to review other topics in our series. Thank you very much.